Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. Shalom. All right, we're going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh. Shema Mashiach, Malak Yahushua, righteous. Right, another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice, you understand? In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, all hell breaking loose, you standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom, right, to all of the aquaf in this thing, reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home. You understand? Being shamefaced, loving, submissive. Right? Another strong shalom to the women that are not married as of yet, but building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, making their body a sacrifice for the household. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty children that's zealous, obeying their parents, and on fire in this thing. Right? So we're going to jump in a lesson in John the 11th chapter. Right? Yahweh raises Lazarus from the dead, right? And we got to make full proof, right, of the ministry, jumping in the parables, right? You got to be in prophecy, you got to be in the law, right? You have to have a good meal when you eat at the Lord's table, man. Don't just eat one thing. You have to literally eat the whole roll, like it says in the Bible, you understand? Right? Let me get a precept real fast. I'm going to go to Proverbs 9. Right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse number 1. And it reads, Wisdom hath builded her house. She hath hewed out her 7 pillars. Right? 7 is the number of completion. All you got to do is come to wisdom's house. You're going to get fed, taken care of, and nurtured. Says she hath killed her beasts. She hath mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. She hath sent forth her maidens. She cried upon the high places of the city. Right? So wisdom has literally given you everything you need. The milk, the bread, the honey, the wine, you understand? The meat, everything. And you got to make full proof of it going through all the Bible, you understand? So we're going to start off with the book of John. Come.
Shalom. Right? It's the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. Right? Such an definitely what the brother was going on into. It says, I am come into my garden, my sister, my spouse. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. Right? Now we know preceding to Song of Solomon, right? The third chapter and the 6th verse, right? That Yahweh is coming back smelling like frankincense and myrrh, man. Right? When you get into the law, right? The myrrh and the frankincense are the chief ointments, man, right? That the priest had. When you read the book of Exodus, the 39th chapter, right? It says, I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. Eat, O friends, drink yea, drink abundantly, O beloved, man. Right? That's not talking about, a man, right? He got the dry wine, right? He got the Cabernet, and then he got the almond milk side by side, man. Right? It's talking about having a pure balance, man. Right? Being in the law, being in the prophecies, right? Having an even balance, having an equal and balanced understanding, right? You got to eat the whole road, right? You got it. Okay, slouch. All right. So it's the book of St. John, chapter 11 and verse 1. It says, now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha.
Right? Right, and Lazarus represents us on a spiritual level, you understand? We represent Lazarus. Let's get that right in the book of Luke. Let's go to Luke 16 and 19.
All right. It's the book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse number 19. It says, there was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores.
Right. And that rich man is Esau. You understand? Don't believe in false doctrines and false breakdowns. That rich man is Esau, you understand? Clothed in purple. And purple is a hard color to get in the ancient world. You understand? That's royalty. Right? That's even in the law. You understand? Exodus 35 and 35. Right? It says what? And fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. Right, with his high rises, you understand, his military, his yachts, his planes, his penthouse suites. And there was a certain beggar, right, named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. And why do we have sores from? Getting beat through hundreds of years of oppression, right? We sitting there begging, right? We begging for jobs. We begging not to get shot, right? We begging for money, right? We begging, right, to not be destroyed, raped, and ravished in front of our children, right? We damn begging in this society, man. We begging from a crumb, right, off of this rich man's table. And we just want a job. We just want to make it home, you understand? We just want a car to get to work, right? We just want a crumb in this society. And we are the beggar, you understand? Right? Because literally the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So we represent Lazarus, right, in John the 11th chapter. It says, now a certain man was sick, and we sick on a spiritual level, man. We don't know who we are. We coughing, we lame, right? We the valley of the dry bones, man. We sitting there, and our body is decomposing, but being so far away from our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 33. Right? Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 33, right, and verse number 21.
Job chapter 33 and verse 21. His flesh is consumed away, that it cannot be seen, and his bones that were not seen stick out.
Right. So when you don't eat, you understand every day the bread, which is Yahweh Shai, the water, the knowledge of the Most High God, the honey, the sweet things of the scripture, the milk, the commandments, the meat, the prophecies, and the wine, the strong drink, you understand? The parables and the prophecies, your body's going to start to consume away. And we didn't know our Lord and Savior, you understand? We got that beat out of us. What do we take on? Christianity, Roman Catholicism, all of these doctrines, these religions, these false ideologies. And what started to happen to our body on a spiritual level? It started to wax away. We forgot who we were. Our bones started to stick out. We became the valley of the dry bones. His flesh is consumed away that it cannot be seen. And his bones that were not seen stick out. Yet his soul draweth near unto the grave, and his life to the destroyers. The destroyers are the death angels. And we draw near and near unto the grave when we don't read every day, when we don't fast constantly, when we don't hold ourselves accountable as men and women of the Lord. It says what? We go rush right. I'm gonna keep going on that. If there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000. That messenger is Yahweh Shai that plead on our behalf. You understand? He's the mediator. If there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000. 1,000 is the number of completion. To shew unto men his uprightness, then he is gracious unto him, saith, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. And only one that could give a ransom for your soul and your spirit is Yahweh Shai. You understand? So when we're sick, we start to wax away, right? We start to get sick, we get lame, we get crumbled up, and that's our body on a spiritual level. You understand? You go back to John.
Precept. Right? Right? Just let me back what the brother was saying. Right? It's the book of Micah, chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, and I said, hear I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment? Right? So these so-called top men of this society that our people look up to, they are supposed to execute righteous judgment, man. Right? Teaching us the commandments, man. Right? Not how to roll the tightest and fattest blunt, right? Damn, shoot a damn basketball, man. Right? And think that all we gotta do is then give money all day, man. Right? It says, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people and fillet their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot and as flesh within the cauldron, man. Right? Right now, a carnal man would read this with the understanding of them cannibalism, man. Right? But this is showing you spiritually how our people get trodden down, man. Right? How we literally become the valley of the dry bones, man. Right? Right through falling away from the Most High, man. Right? So let's go back to John.
Real quick point. You can go to Matthew chapter 25.
Come.
Right? All right. 24, Salaki. 24 and verse 28.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 28. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together.
Right. And we the carcasses, you understand? Because we got devoured, you understand? We don't have anything. Our body, our flesh is consumed away. And we're literally dead. Our dead body shall lie in a great city, man. Read about that in Revelations, the 11th chapter. Because we're dead spiritually. We don't know who we are. We're cool with the so-called Black Power movement. You understand? We're cool with Black Lives Matter. We're cool with the dust of the society, what they give us, and we run with it, man, and proud of it. And wherever the carcasses is, the eagles, which are the different nations and chiefly Esau, they'll be gathered to help devour us and further afflict our pain. Right, let's go to the book of Song of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. Right? So we on physical and spiritual warfare, man. Just because you don't have a damn whip on your back does not mean that you're not getting oppressed every day, man. Let's go to the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 2, right? And I'm going to start at 15. Take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines. You understand? These foxes are these different nations. They come into the Lord's garden. We're the Lord's garden. That's Isaiah 5 and 7. You understand? It says, take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines. We're the vines. You understand? Yahweh Shai is the true vine in that garden, and everybody grows fruit off of him. It says, for our vines have tender grapes. I mean, the men are tender in this thing. You can fall out easy. Let some weed go past somebody's damn nose and they start damn double thinking and start scratching their head. Next thing you know, man, they want to re-up, man. We tender in this thing. We get offended easily. We fall away easily. We get seduced easily by doctrines. Why we trusting in vanity? We easily get consumed. You understand? It said we have what? Tender grapes. And I'm gonna rush right there. That's the point. So these different animals, for lack of a better term, they come in and they devour us on a spiritual level. You got foxes, right? You got eagles, right? You got all of these different vultures. When you read Job, the 39th chapter, it's an in-depth breakdown on all of these different animals, how they are attributes to men in different nations. We can go back to the book of John.
St. John, chapter 11, and verse number 2. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick.
It said him. It says what? I'm going to read that again. It says, therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick, man. And we represent Lazarus. We're the one that's sick. Let's go to the book, right? This whole thing kind of crazy. Yeah. Let's go to Luke, right? I believe that's what I want. The Luke, the 7th chapter. 7 and verse 5. You can break it down.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 7 and verse 5. For he loveth our nation, and he hath built us a synagogue, right? Also, playing upon tables, hey, Yahweh Shai only loves us, man, right? Hey, brothers know all the precepts, man, right? Psalm 147, right? 19 on down, right? How Israel received the commandments, right? From the Most High, man, right? Deuteronomy 7 and 6, Deuteronomy 14 and 2. Hey, you can go on and on, man. Hey, the Lord, hey, only loves us, man, and our nation, man. All right, let me get a quick precept, right, real fast, right? Right, because Yahweh hey, also built us a synagogue, man. Right? It's the book of St. John, right? Chapter 18 and verse number 20. It says, Yahweh answered him, I spake openly to the world, man. Right? Also, a lot of Christians, man, or men, you know, they may read this, man, and say, see, right? John 3:16, hey, for God so loved the world. Hey, but let's see what world this is talking about, man. It says, I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whether the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing, man. Right? So there's no secret, right, love that the Lord has for any of the other nations, man. Right? Hey, the Lord is only dealing with the nation of Israel, understand? All right? All right. So St. John, right, chapter 11 and verse number 3 again. It says, therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Yahweh heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of Yahweh, that the Son of the Most High might be glorified thereby.
Right. So the whole point of the matter is that Yahweh shall be magnified. He's the quickening spirit. He's the one that's going to wake you out of sleep. You understand? He's the one that's going to have the comforter come and rest with you. So you can remember precepts. So you can know how to go to the breakdowns. Right? So you can have the spirit of prophecy, which is the spirit of Yahweh Shah. You understand? Let's go to the book of Revelation. Right? Chapter 19, right? And verse number 10.
Revelation chapter 19 and verse number 10. And it reads, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh is the spirit of prophecy.
Right. And that is the spirit of prophecy. You wonder how men are able to go in the highways and byways, prophesying, knowing precepts, know the understanding, know the doctrine of life, right? Able to wake out of sleep from being niggas. Hey, certain people with junkies, man. I know people that literally have told me, man, that they used to do hard drugs, man. Right? Literally. And now they were standing on the highways and byways, breaking down the gospel, right? You have men that have all type of paths, right? Men used to be thieves, murderers, idolaters. Look at Paul, man. Lord raised Paul out of the dust. And now he's one of the chief men that labored abundantly, man. Who labored more than Paul, right? Out of all the disciples. Paul was going hard in this thing, that the Son of Man may be glorified. So when you read literally Acts, the 9th chapter, when the Lord came to Paul, right, when he was going to hell off in the 8th chapter, the beginning of the 9th chapter, the Lord came to him, right, via a chariot. He raised him up, man. And the Lord was magnified, you understand? By the acts that he did, the strength he had, the understanding he had, the epistles, how he set the church in order, right? How he was going, doing the works of old, right? We can go back to John 11.
St. John, chapter 11 and verse 5. Now, Yahweh loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days, still in the same place where he was. Then, after that, saith he to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again?
Right, the Lord didn't care about being put to death, man. The Lord didn't care whether people were seeking his life, whether they wanted to stone him, whether they wanted to kill him. He loved his people that much, man. Just like Paul. You had men that were trying to kill Paul, right? There was men that said, I will not eat or drink until I have Paul killed, man. And they proclaimed the fast and wickedness that damn they was going to wait for Paul's head, huh? Right? And that's how wicked these men were in wickedness. You understand? Let's go to the book, right, at Acts, right? Chapter, bear with me. Let's go to Acts chapter 16, and I'm going to start at, matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 24. Who have receiving such a charge, thrust them into inner prison and made them, right, their feet fast in the stocks. And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto Yahweh, and the prisoners heard them. So they was getting locked up, they was getting beat, you understand? All hell was breaking loose. When you read Acts, you understand the 5th chapter, all hell was breaking loose. They got beat, and they were praising the Lord that they were worthy to suffer such affliction in his name, man. How much more the Lord? Right? The Lord was like, you know what? I got to be there for my people. I love them. Let's go to Mark chapter 6, verse 34.
I got a quick precept too, right? It's the book, right, of Acts, right? Chapter 23 and verse number 1. It says, and Paul earnestly beholding the council said, men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before Yahweh until this day. And the high priest and Ananias commanded them that stood by him to smite him on the mouth, man. Right? Right. So you had men literally trying to put Paul to death, man. Right? The prophets, man, got arrested, got beat, man, but still went hard for the Lord, man. Right? And that's the same way we must read these accounts, man, and endure unto the very end, man. Right?
Right. And you got to read this with the spirit of Yahweh, man. Don't read this like a Christian pastor. Don't read this like an Edomite, man. Literally, his disciples, like, Lord, they trying to kill you. You want to go there hither? You serious? The Lord said, we gotta do this work, man. Right. I'm not scared of nobody. I created these vessels, right? It's the book of Acts, chapter 23 and verse 12. And when it was day, certain of the Jews band together and bound themselves under a curse, saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul, man. These men hated the men of the Lord, man. That's how we hated of all men. That's a blessing. That's how we know we really in the gospel, man. We fulfilling the days of old of our forefathers. When people want to spit on us, you understand, beat us down, lock us up, kill us, damn, false accusations and lies. That's the same thing they did to our forefathers. Verse 13. And they were more than 40, which have made this conspiracy, man. Imagine 40 men gathering together saying, we're going to go on a fast. Nobody eat and drink. Don't nobody do nothing till we kill Paul. And they came to the chief priests and elders and said, we have bound ourselves under a great curse that we will eat nothing until we have slain Paul. So these men walking around, they got stinky breath. Damn, not putting no oil on their damn face. They crusty, and they damn, yeah, we're going to kill Paul. And they got spirits on them, man. Them looking at everybody, yeah, you know, you still haven't got him. Right, the damn teeth rotten. Oh, hell breaking loose, man. Because the Lord is going to save his anointed, man. Those men could have rotted away on a physical level, man. Right? We could go back now. I wanted to get Mark. All right, I'm already there. 6 and verse 34. And Yahweh, when he came out, saw much people and was moved with compassion. So the same way our Lord is moved with compassion when he see the sick, the lame, right, the shut-in, the blind, men with leprosy, men that's halt, men that have no understanding. You understand? It says toward them because they were as sheep having not a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. So the Lord, he was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, to the men that were sick, that was shut in, that was blind, like Bartimaeus, right, begging on the highways, like the men they had to lower down from the damn rooftop because it was a crowd, and they lowering this man down, right, just to get to Yahweh. Right, you got people that were chasing the Lord, Luke the 5th chapter, right, surrounding them, throwing them back and forth. You understand? Because they wanted to be healed. And Yahweh, he loved his people, and Lazarus represents the whole nation. And he's not going nowhere and doing nothing until he heals his people. You can go back to John 11.
Come. St. John, chapter 11 and verse 9. Yahweh answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him.
Right. Okay. Right. So are they not 12 hours in a day? Right. And it's 24, but the Lord is speaking on a just balance. You understand? You have the right hand side, you have the left hand side. You have up, you have down. You have righteousness and you have wickedness. So we the children of the light, paraphrase. Or you can get that in 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. We the children of the light. We're going to walk with the light, which is Yahweh Shah, you understand? In John chapter 8 and verse 12. We're going to continue to do the works from old, right? And that's going to literally guide us. Because the law is a light, right? And reproof of instruction out of way of life, like we read about Proverbs 6 and 23. So we're the children of the light. We have to walk before Yahweh Shah.
Right? Come, verse.
You got 1 Thessalonians 5.
Come. Right, the book. Right? Shalom. 5 and what? Shalom.
We started outside.
Come. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 5. It says, ye are the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness.
Right, we're not of darkness in this world, man. We're not getting snared and trapped with the darkness. We literally living in the valley of the shadow of death, which is Babylon, man. You can't see anything in this land unless Yahweh shines your light. You have no understanding where you're going. You're falling into ditches. Are you getting devoured by false shepherds and getting led astray? The wolves of the night are devouring you. These different philosophies, these men, right? These wicked women, these whores, the chief whore, the daughter of Babylon, right? Playing upon tables. She lures you away in the nighttime, like you read about in Proverbs, the 7th chapter, right? In the twilight of the night, like it says. And what is that night? That's a spiritual level. Meaning when you have no light, you have no understanding, she lures you away into wickedness and takes advantage of you and seduces you. So we're the children of the light, you understand? And literally it says, but if a man walk in night, he's stumbling. So you're going to stumble when you don't have the light, which is Yahweh, because there is no light in him. And that light is going to have you to see.
It's the book of St. John, chapter 3 and verse number 19. It says, and this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil, right? And we live in right now in the land of darkness, man, here in Babylon, right? And men love the so-called light of this nation, man, right? Which is nothing but truly true darkness, man, right? And everything is upside down here, man, right? And out of order, right? Let me get a quick precept real fast, right? Job chapter 10 and verse number 21. It says, before I go whence, I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, man. Right? And this place is the land of darkness and death, man. Right? Because there's nothing but the harlotry, wickedness, right? There's no commandments, right? Or understanding of the Most High in this land. It says a land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is and where the light is as darkness, man, right? Right. So the light of this world is true darkness, man, right? But the light of Yahweh, hey, that's that true light, man, right? The true right being where you can see, man, right? So let's go back to St. John, right, chapter 11, right? St. John chapter 11 and verse number 10. It says, but if a man walk in the night, he stumbled, because there is no light in him. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep.
Right. And when you sleep in the scriptures, you have hope. You understand? When you die to death, that means you die and you're dead. You understand? Let's go to the book of 2 Kings 2 and 10. So in the scriptures, when our forefathers they fell asleep in the Lord, meaning they had hope. When you heard somebody died in the scriptures, they died to death. So when you sleep, you fall asleep on a spiritual level for a dispensation of time until you literally come back on earth through the regeneration and bear witness with the knowledge of truth. But when you die with your eyes closed on a physical level and on a spiritual level. Bring it out, Ken.
2 Kings, right?
2 and 10.
2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 10. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing.
Salaki, 1 Kings.
1 Kings chapter 2 and verse number 10. So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David.
Right, and David was righteous. So when it says David slept with his fathers, meaning David fell asleep for a dispensation of time. David didn't really die. He just gave up the ghost, man. He's coming back. He's going to be in order. He's going to be on fire. He's going to be diligent. And he's still going to fulfill that same lot from old when you fall asleep, you understand? And falling asleep, like I said, is in a spiritual level. Let's go to the book, right? Let's go to 2 Kings. Let me see what I want. So I can bear with me. Matter of fact, let me get Kings. Right, let's get Salakia. 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 37.
1 Kings chapter 22 and verse number 37. So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor according unto the word of the Lord which he spake.
And that's plenty, man. He died, man. All hell broke loose, a vicious death. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, man. And you don't want that to be you. Let's get Proverbs 13:3. That's why the Lord said, lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Because when you die, you're going to sleep that sleep of death. Or you can fall asleep and still come back, right, in regeneration on fire.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 13. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 13, and verse number 3. And it reads, consider and hear me, O Lord my God, lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say I have prevailed against him, and those that trouble me rejoice when I am removed.
Right, that's the point, man. That's what the Lord said in verse 11. These things said he after he said it, right? Unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Don't we read about that in the book of Romans? You understand? The Lord said, literally, wake up out of sleep, man. Because we're literally asleep as a nation. Don't nobody know who we are. It's a big mystery on the earth who the children of Israel are. Who are we? Are we Kemet? Are we damn Africans? Are we Egyptians? Are we black? Are we African Americans? There's 100,000 bywords that they throw upon men, man. And we're all the same people. So the Lord is coming now to wake us out of sleep.
St. John, chapter 11, verse 11. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well.
Right, they don't know what's going on, right? If he sleep, he's doing well. Let him kick back. Let him relax, right? The disciples, you understand, they didn't understand. Everything Yahweh Shah spoke was a parable, man. Even something that could be plainly understood, you had to squint your eyes when the Lord was speaking, man. Let's get that in the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 33. Believe this what I want. Come, it's the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 33. And with many such parables spake he the word unto them, as they were able to hear it. But without a parable spake he not unto them. And when they were alone, he expounded all things to his disciples, man. Right? So everything the Lord spoke was a parable. The Lord can say, I'll be right back. But he'll say it in such a way where you don't know what the Lord just said, man. Then he kind of disappeared, man. Right? Kind of tell a brother, hey, I'm about to go to the bathroom. But I say, the way that I go, it will be 2 minutes. Like, damn, what's that mean? Where is he going? What's going to take 2 minutes? And then you hear the damn toilet flush. Then he kind of come back out of nowhere, man. Right? So, the Lord was speaking in parables. So these men didn't understand what was going on. It's on a spiritual level.
Right? It's the book, right? St. John, chapter 11, and verse number 12.
Right?
It says, then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Yahweh Shai spake of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking of rest and sleep. Then said Yahweh Shai unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead.
Lazarus is dead, right? We fell away. We got cut off. We don't know what's going on anymore, right? But on a deeper level, not all of us died, you understand? Because it was still a remnant from the very foundation of the earth. That's in Romans 11 and 4, chiefly 7, right? Literally on 1 Kings, the 18th chapter, to preserve those men, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 13. Ezekiel chapter 6 and verse 10. These are precepts of the remnant always been on the earth bearing witness to the truth. Our forefathers and foremothers were in slavery. And what were they saying? Swing low, man. Why were they saying that? Because they knew about the chariots of the Lord, you understand? They knew about the horsemen. They knew about the angels. And they wanted to get delivered out of captivity. That's why they were singing swing low, man. Sweet chariot, coming forth and carry us home. Where is our home? Our homeland. Right, let's get the book, right, of Wisdom of Solomon 10, right, and verse 13.
I got you. That's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, right, chapter 10 and verse number 13. When the righteous was sold, she forsook him not, but delivered them from sin. She went down with him into the pit.
Right, she went down with him into the pit when we got sold. Wisdom never left us. a lot of men, right, they forgot who they were, but it was still a small remnant, a dispensation of men that still knew they were Israelites. She went down with them even into the pit, man. You know?
And left him not in bonds till she brought him the scepter of the kingdom and power against those that oppressed him. As for them that had accused him, she shewed them to be liars and gave him perpetual glory. She delivered the righteous people and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them.
I can go to Romans 11, 7.
Romans chapter 11 and verse number 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath attained it, and the rest were blinded.
And the rest were blinded. Let's start at verse 4.
Verse 4. But what said the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Even so, then at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. And if by grace, then is no more works.
Right. So that's the point. The 7,000 men that wasn't killed. And 7 is a number of completion, right? When literally Jezebel was cutting off the prophets, right, during the time of the kings. The Lord left 7,000 men, right, did not bow down in need of Baal, right? And Obadiah was hiding these prophets in caves, feeding them with bread and with water. You understand? And that's literally talking about the elect on a deeper level, right? So literally when Lazarus dead, it was still a small remnant, but the whole nation, right, they forgot who they were. They didn't have it, right? This is Ezekiel chapter 6 and verse 8. Yet will I leave a remnant, that ye may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations, when ye shall be scattered through the countries, right? Let's go back to John 11.
St. John, chapter 11 and verse number 15. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, let us also go, that we may die with them. Then when Yahushua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already.
They say he been laying in the grave 4 days, man. Right? And that's a spiritual number, right? And even when you look up, right, when your body's supposed to decompose, it decomposes after the 3rd day. That's when your body starts to rot and stink. So we're supposed to been gone, right? The Lord was laying in the grave 3 days and 3 nights, not because, I don't know, 3 is the number of completion. 333, right? No, right? After the 3rd day, your body starts to decompose and rot away. So the Lord was in there a perfected amount of time, you understand? It says, this is literally going into it, 24, 72 hours after death, the internal organs decompose. 3 to 5 days after death, the body starts to bloat, and blood containing foam leaks from the mouth and nose. So all hell get to breaking loose. That's why when somebody passes away, they try to get the funeral immediately, right? You don't want your grandmother 3 weeks later, man, at the damn funeral. You're like, that's not my damn grandmother. You slam this damn casket, right? I want to speak to the manager. Right? No, man, grandma, that's not grandma no more at that point, right? That's Uncle Earl in the face, right? So the Lord said, plain upon table, man, after 3 to 5 days, hey, the thing starts to rot, man, right? So on a spiritual level, we was 4 days in the grave. 4 days. We've been rotted away. We're supposed to been cast away. That's a spiritual level, how the Lord raised us out of the damn dust where we could not come back from. Right? Read that again.
St. John, chapter 11, and verse number 17.
Right?
Then when Yahushua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha.
One quick point too. right? And that's twofold, right? This literally happened. This isn't just a parable. It's a parable in the spirit, but this physically happened. On another fold, after the third day, your body's supposed to start to decompose. And after another fold, a day in the scriptures can mean a year. And we was casted away 400 years, man. We didn't know who we was. We was taking on what? Idolatry. We was taking on Christianity. We was getting lied to. The so-called white man, he set up false apostles, right, to go out and teach in slavery and pull certain precepts out of context to further kill us, murder us, and mentally destroy us. Servants, be good to your master. Hey, well, you know what's in the Bible, right? And the next thing you know, man, hey, man, that's mind control, right, over us, right? So these parables, they get deep, man. We've been casted away. Let's get Ezekiel 4 and verse 6.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 and verse 6. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed each day for a year.
Right, and that's plain, for a year. Each day for a year. So that could be looked at on different folds. 400 years, you understand? So let's go back to John 11 chapter.
John. St. John, chapter 11 and verse 18. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off, and many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Yahushua, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of Yahweh, Yahweh will give it thee. Yahushua said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Martha saith unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
See that? That's when things get deep, man. The Lord said, I am the resurrection, right? Everybody frantic, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I call? Yahushua was calm the whole time, man. He knows his people will be lost, astray, beat down, you understand? Ravished, confused, led astray. But the Lord said, plain upon tables, I am the resurrection and the life. And he that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Right? Now, for anybody that doesn't think this is spiritual, how is this man gave up the ghost and dead already? How can he believe in Yahushua at that point? Huh? We read Ecclesiastes 9 and verse 4. It says a dead lion. So let me get it. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Right? Right? We'll read it as it is written. Ecclesiastes 9 and 4.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 4. For to him that is joined to all the living, there is hope.
Meaning you can repent, right? If you join into the living, there is hope. You can go off, right, and be damn confused, cast down. You can be locked up, but the Lord can pull you out of any situation,
For a living dog is better than a dead lion.
A living dog is a man at a lower state. He may be poor, right? He may be broke. He may not know what's going on. He may not even know about the truth, but he's at a lower state. A living dog is better than a dead lion. Somebody like Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, somebody that got the money, right? The cars, the yachts, right? They got everything, right? So Lazarus, he was dead, you understand? But the Lord said, if you believeth in me, meaning on a spiritual level, we dead. We're in the congregation of the dead. We don't know what's going on, right? But if we believe in the words as it is written, the Lord could bring us back to life. You understand? You got precept?
All right. It's the book of Ezekiel, right? Chapter 37. And I'm going to start at verse number 8. It says, and behold, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Right? All right. So we are raising our people back up on a spiritual level, man. Right? Clothing them back, right? With their bones, joints, right? Right, the flesh, right, the skin, right? Verse number 9. It says, Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live, man. Right? Right now, our people, they walk past us, man, on a physical level, right? A walking, talking, man, but on a spiritual level, they are dead, man, right? And we are giving them that breath of life, right? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High, man. Right? You read about that in Job, right? The 33rd chapter, right? And the 4th verse, man, right? That breath of life from the Almighty, man, right? And making our people living living souls, man. Right? That's how you come right out of that congregation of the dead, right? Well, we was calling ourselves niggas, right? Sticks, right? We didn't know who the hell we were, man. But now the Lord, He's literally raising us up out the dunghill, man, and making us stand upon our feet. Right? Verse 10. It says, So I prophesied as He commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army, man, right? Which is what Yahushua is doing on a spiritual level, man, through his service of the prophets, man. Waking up all the mighty men, right, women, children, right, that are here before us, right? Whether on a physical, man, right, or whether on a live, man. And the Lord has woken us up, man, out the dead, man, right? So, let's go back to St. John. All right. It's the book of St. John, chapter 11, and verse number 21 again. It says, Then said Martha unto Yahushua, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now whatsoever thou wilt ask of Yahweh will give it thee. Verse 27. She said unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Hamashiach, the son of Yahweh, which should come into the world. And when she said, and when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, The master is come and calleth for thee. As soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him.
Right. Sorry. I'm gonna start at verse 26. And whosoever liveth, right, and believeth in me shall never die. So you never gonna die. That's you just fall asleep. You're never gonna die. You're never gonna die. Right? It says, and whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? Right? Let's go to Mark chapter 9 verse 1. The Lord said it be some standing here that shall not taste of death, man.
Mark chapter 9 verse 1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciple asked him, saying,
Mark 9 and 1. Mark,
all right. It's the book of St. Mark, right? Chapter 9 and verse number 1. And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here, which shall not taste of death till they have seen the kingdom of Yahweh come with power.
And that's why Stephen fell asleep when he got stoned, because he was righteous. That's why David fell asleep. That's why Solomon fell asleep. That's why Jehoshaphat fell asleep. That's why, Lord willing, everybody in this room, they fell asleep in the ancient world. Now we back. We bear witness through the Spirit. We understanding the words of life, and we never tasted of death, right? We may have been cast down for a dispensation of time. We had to pass through the darkness before we entered into the light, right? But we never died to death, right? Going back to John chapter 11 and verse 27. She said unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Hamashiach, the Son of God, which shall come into the world. Yeah, I believe in you, right? It says, and when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, The master is come. He calleth for thee. And as soon as she had heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Now Yahushua was not yet come into the town, but was in the place where Martha met him. The Jews then, which were in her, in the house, and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that rose up hastily, and went out, followed her, saying, She goeth unto the grave weeping there, to weep there. And when Mary was come, where Yahushua was, and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother had not died. And that's us, man. We don't want the Lord to leave us. If you would have never left, right in your spirit, right, and casted us down, we would have never sinned. But she didn't understand this was on a spiritual level. Everything is on a first fold, and then it gets deeper on a deeper fold. Now, Yahushua, he knew all things, right? So he was, he kind of wept through the spirit. You understand? Because he knew that this was deeper and double to that which is on top of her crying for a loved one, and on top of that being his kindred. And it says what? Verse 32. Then when Mary was come, where Yahushua, right? Salakia. 33, Salakia. When Yahushua therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled, and said, Where have ye laid him? There said unto him, Lord, come and see. Yahushua wept. Then said the Jews, Behold, how he loved him. Like we just read in the book of Luke 7 and 5. Yahushua, he loves the nation. You understand? He wept. Elijah, he wept. You understand? And said to Jeremiah, he wept. All the men of the Lord wept. David was weeping so much, his bed was like tears, man. Let's get that in Psalm 6 and 6.
They said he could swim in his tears, man. All right. It's the book of Psalm, right? Chapter 6.
Right, and Salaki, the Lord wasn't just mugging down, a tear kind of came down. No, man, he loved his people, man. He was comforting his kindred. He loved them. The same way, man, if the brother, hey, man, I'm going to say it. If a brother want to cry, he can cry on my shoulder. Plain upon tables. He lost his mother. If all hell break, I'm going to be there for him, man. Peter was lying in Yahushua's bosom, man. Right? In righteousness, but women need to cry, she could cry on my shoulder. You got to fulfill everything the Lord did. You're going to be men of the Lord and walk in their footsteps. David was killing 10,000 of men, but yet he cried. Jeremiah was a man of the Lord, you understand? He cried. That don't mean, I can't break down scripture. All right, so I can cry. You kind of go in your room, you slam the door, right? You read Psalm 6 and 6, and that's your excuse to cry all day. Huh? That don't mean you down read Psalm 6 and 6 out of order. Right, bring that up.
Right, Psalm chapter 6 and verse 6. I am worried with my groaning.
Right.
All the night make I my bed to swim. I water my couch with my tears. My eye is consumed because of grief. It waxes old because of all my enemies.
Right.
God. Depart from me, all ye workers of iniquity, for the Lord hath heard the voice of my weeping.
Right, in righteousness. The Lord heard the voice of my weeping. Right? So we got to be there for one another. Right. On all type of foes, man. Not just on the Sabbath day, that a brother kind of disappear in the midnight. You kind of see him again on the Sabbath day. Right? No, we got to be there, man. If a brother needs help, they need to be reaching out. Because all hell could be breaking loose in men's households, right? Brothers' wives, out of order, or brothers' children, right? All hell breaking loose, right? Brothers got to be there for one another. And don't be that proud man that's scared to reach out. Because those men are going to sink, right? And they didn't ask for help. Now, if somebody's in the middle of the ocean and you driving by, then they kind of sinking all slow, right? And they ain't saying that. You'd have thought they was playing games in the ocean, right? Their hands kind of waving all wild. You gonna be like, hey man, throw that man a lifeguard. He kind of throw him in, kind of reaching him back, then he kind of gets saved, man. Don't sink in the dark in your sins, man. Because everybody, that's why the Lord set up the councils. Lord set up the church. The Lord set up the men, you understand? The Lord set up somebody that could give you, right? Let me get the book of Isaiah, chapter 50. I believe that's verse 4.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 50, and verse number 4.
Right?
The Lord, Yahweh, has given me the tongue of the learned, that I should know how to speak a word in season to him that is weary.
Right? That's the point, right? So the Lord has given certain men the lung turn. It's like the learned tongue to be able to give precepts, to be able to help brothers that are weary, right? That are weeping, that are sad, that have no help, man. So we gotta be there for one another. It says what? He wakeneth morning by morning. He wakeneth mine ear to hear as the learn. Right? You got precept?
Count, not loud.
All right, we'll go back to it.
Count. It's the book of St. John, chapter 11 and verse number 37. It says, and some of them say, could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died? Yahweh Shai, therefore,
and on a spiritual level, if those men had any understanding, the Lord said in the beginning of the parable and on a physical level that his name must be glorified. So this had to have happened for his name to be glorified. You understand? So these men are in the spirit even saying these things. Just wanted to point that out.
Right. Right. St. John chapter 11 and verse 38. Yahweh Shai, therefore, again groaning in himself, cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Yahweh Shai said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh.
He's stinking. Because after the fourth day, you start to stink, you decompose.
For he hath been dead 4 days. Yahweh Shai said unto her, said I not unto thee that if thou wouldst believe, thou shouldst see the glory of Yahweh? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, and Yahweh Shai lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. And I knew that thou heardest me always, but because of the people which stand by I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me.
Right, and that's plain. And brothers got to believe in the Lord no matter what's going on, man. Right? You may feel like the Lord's not hearing your prayers. Or you give me the book of Psalms, chapter 31 and 22 of you. Right? No matter what's going on, you got to continue to pray. Don't feel so cast down in your sins and your understanding that you say, you know what, I'm going to take a break. Or I'm not worthy. And the Lord would never hear me. I'm going to sleep this thing off. Right? You have to continue to pray. Because even in your lowest state, the Lord still hears your prayers, man. Right? If you're repentant. Bring that up.
It's the book of Psalm, chapter 31 and verse number 22. For I said in my haste, I am cut off.
Right, you may say in your haste you're cut off. Whatever's going on. Yeah, I'm losing faith. I don't believe. That's why it's very important to believe, man. You keep the law, statutes, and commandments, but if you don't have any faith, you don't have anything, man. If you don't have faith, well, brother, you're not in the truth, man. You can keep all the commandments in the world. You can wear your fringes. You can have a big beard. You understand? You could be the first one at the high holy days, right? You could be the one kind of blowing the trumpet on the new moon. All hell breaking loose in righteousness. But if you don't have no faith, brother, you're nothing. Right? I'm said in my haste, I'm cut off.
For I said in my haste, I am cut off from before thine eyes. Nevertheless, thou heardest the voice of my supplications when I cried unto thee. Oh, love the Lord, all ye his saints, for the Lord preserveth the faithful, and plentiful rewardeth the proud doer. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all ye that hope in the Lord.
Right. So when you're haste, you may feel like you're cut off, but it says, nevertheless, the Lord heard, right, my supplication. Right. So even in it, when you losing faith, you still have to continue to go on in this thing, right? Don't run out of oil and gas and you're sitting there and you damn putting your head on your head. You got to continue to have faith. That's what's going to justify you in the last days when all hell breaks loose, your faith. The amount of faith that the elect is going to have on earth, right, it can't be talked about. Because nobody's going to see all the atrocities, murder, and damn famine and persecution that's going to be on the earth, man. You may watch a wild video on the internet and see somebody get sawed in half. Then you kind of, ooh, his stomach hurt. So, I don't want to watch that. Cut the video off. What if it's right in front of your eyes? Everywhere you look, everywhere you go, you hear screams. You're scared. You're double-minded. You're thinking twice. You don't know what to do. You have to have faith that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to save you, man. right? And if you believe that, the Lord is going to raise you up in that last day, man. Come on, you can go back to it. I appreciate it. Come.
Right? It's a book, a second Ezra, right? Chapter 16 and verse number 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire, man. Right? Hey, you gotta go through trials and affliction, man. And the truth, right? It's not just gonna be a cakewalk, right? Well, I'm an Israelite and I'm gonna just get the kingdom, man. Hey, no, you gotta go through trials, tribulation, man, and go through the fire, man. Right? I'm not sure if those are seen like the jury channels, man. Right? But when gold is tried, man, it gets melted and purified over and over and over and over again, man. Right? Verse 74, it says, Hear, O ye, my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same, right? And the Lord, he's not going to deliver that man, woman, or child that doesn't have any faith, right? That does not believe, right? You gotta really believe that the Lord is really going to deliver you and save you the same way he did our forefathers, man. Right? Verse 75, it says, Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your God, and the God of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Right? Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. Right? Right? So if you that man, right, that's kind of getting faint now, right? Kind of getting worried now, man, right? Losing faith now, man. Hey, what you gonna do when all hell breaks loose, man? Right? Like the brother just said, man. Right? You may see somebody get them put to death right on TV show, man. Right? But imagine Jacob's trouble, man. Imagine being in a damn FEMA camp, concentration camp, man. Hey, you can change the channel, man. Cut the TV off, man. Hey, you gotta either have faith that the Lord is going to deliver you, man. Right? Like the brothers in the second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, man. Right? Or you're going to die the death, man. Right? Let me give one more precept. Right? Let me go back to it. Right? It's the book of Second Ezra. Right? Chapter 7. And I'm gonna start at verse number 56. It says, For while we live and committed iniquity, we consider not that we shall begin to suffer for it after death. Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight, man. Right? Right? So man that is born upon the earth, you're gonna have to face them demons, man. A spirits coming at you, man. Right? Getting them vexed, man. Us being them oppressed, man. Hey, but hey, these things we must endure, man. Right? You can't be that man that gets into it, right? When it's not even hot yet, man. Right? It's still cool outside, man. Right? The heat hasn't even really turned up yet, man. You can still go and prophesy. You can still come out the camp and learn to get built up, right? And you can still shake your hand at Esau, the so-called white man, and tell him that this kingdom is going to fall, man, and nobody's coming to persecute you and put you to death, man. Right? How much more, man, when martial law kicks off, all hell breaks loose, man. Right? When you don't have brothers around you, that's going to keep you with zeal and keep you on fire, man. Right? You must build up your faith in those days, man, and believe in the Lord, man. Right? Verse number 58, right, of our second Ezra, the 7th chapter. It says that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say, man. Right? Right. So if you lose the faith, man, at the very end, man, at the very last second, man, hey, you're gonna get put to death, man. Right? Hey, without that mixture, man. Right? A fire and sword, man. Hey, but if you endure, if you keep the faith, man, hey, until the very end, man, hey, the Lord, He's gonna give you your sword reward, which is the kingdom of heaven and that everlasting crown of life. Right? So we must keep the faith in that last piece. Right? Going back to St. John. Right? Unless you get a precept. All right. Now it's the book of St. John, chapter 11 and verse 42. And I knew that thou heardest me always, but because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth.
And that's the spirit of the Lord on a spiritual level, man. Verse 43. And when, right, he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice. That loud voice is the prophets, man. Come forth, right? That's literally what that is. Did not the Lord tell us to cry aloud? Now we're hearing. Now we're being loosed in our mind, right? Get the book of Psalms, chapter 105, verse 18, right? It says, and when he had yet spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. Right now, everything is double to that which is. Right, we in the last days. We heard the loud voice of the prophets on the highways and byways. We came forth right out of the dust. We came forth out of the dark. We came forth out of mischief, you understand, and panic, having no understanding, and we came to the light, which is our shot. Bring that up, King.
It's the book, right, of Psalm, chapter 104, right?
105, 18.
105 and verse 18. Whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron until the time that his word came.
Until the time that his word came. So we're going to be loose with fetters of iron on our minds, you understand? Until the time that the word of the Lord comes.
Until the time that his word came, the word of the Lord tried him. The king sent and loosed him.
And did what?
And loosed him.
And that's literally the last verse, right, of this parable. He got loosed, you understand? The Lord loosed him. Read on.
Even the ruler of the people, and let him go free.
And let him go free, you understand? Now, can't nobody bind you up anymore once the word of the Lord comes, you understand? You're broken. That's why the Lord said you should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. It's going to loosen those binds off of us of all the things that we used to have on our minds, right? You could go back to John.
St. John, chapter 11 and verse 43. And when he thus, see that,
wicked.
See that? And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, right? Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound with a napkin. Yahweh Shai said unto them, loose him and let him go.
Right, so Yahweh Shai is that king that we just read about in Psalms. Now we understand through the spirit, right? It's kind of going into Egypt when you read on down. It's double to that which is. But at the same time, the Lord deals with parables. You have to have the spirit to be able to link these things up. And the Lord said to loose him and let him go free. Just like he said in Psalms, when the word of the Lord tries you and looses your shackles. Now we're going to close out with the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32.
St. John, chapter 8 and verse number 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Right, and that truth is going to set you free, man. Right, it's going to loosen all of those bands, those shackles, all of those things. Now, on a physical level, do you need to be shackled up right after you die? Right, you might, hell may break loose in the grave. No, man, that's all spiritual, right? The Lord is going to loosen you, right, and quicken in your spirit. John 6 and 63, right? The book of Ephesians, chapter 2 and verse 1. Psalms 105 and 18 on down. The Lord is going to set you free and be that light, right? So with that, we're about to close up and head to camp, Lord willing, right? We get to seal the elect, right? And wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Continue to pray, read, fast, be diligent. Do everything you can do to make the calling of your election sure. Continue to stay on fire and keep the Sabbath day holy. Shalom. 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 Wow.